Hi everybody. If there's people already there, already joining us, nice and on time and early. My name's Amanda Miles. I am on the marketing team at IMC, um, and I will just wait a few couple of minutes, 1 minute maximum, to let a few people come in. Um, Roman's going to, if you could share your slides already, that would be amazing. And then
Oh,
I'll just do some housekeeping parts before we get started. So we'll just give it a minute. I can see some people coming in already. Thank you for joining us. I know it may be around lunchtime where you are, or it could be very early in the morning or very late at night. So for Roman and I, it's around lunchtime. So um, very happy to see you all, and thank you for taking the time to join us. Okay, Roman, oh, thank you. That's a beautiful picture.
thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us for this webinar, which I hope you'll find really, really interesting. It's the future of skill management powered by agentic workflows, which is, of course, hot topic at the moment. I think hopefully most of you know who we are. So we are Scheer IMC. We are a learning technologies company headquartered in Germany. We've been around for over 25 years, I think, Roman, nearly 30 years. So we've really been there on the digital learning solutions journey with a lot of organizations over many decades. Um, so we have some amazing clients, and our clients stay with us a long time. So jumping over, I would just like to cover some housekeeping parts. So we have a chat box, which you're very welcome to use. And Roman, in fact, will be inviting you to give some of your thoughts and insights later on in the webinar. We are recording this session, and you will receive a recording by email a few days after the session. Also, your chat, anything you put in the chat, we have set it as anonymous, so only we will see it, just so you can feel open to share anything you want to say. And then we'll talk about what's in the chat verbally. So your names won't be publicly on the chat. Okay, so I think that's everything. Of course, if there's any questions, do pop them in the chat. Otherwise, I will hand over to our host to introduce himself and take you through this webinar today. Thanks, everyone.
So, then also a warm welcome from my side. My name is Roman. I'm CTO of Scheer IMC, and I'm with this company for about 28, 29 years. Actually, after 20 years, you stop counting this, so it's getting less. So a long time I'm there. I always had a technical background, so I'm still in the technical department, and we have therefore a slightly technical part today, but shouldn't be scared. We prepared everything that you can follow, and we want that you understand this because our future of the skill management is, of course, AI based. And this means for you that you should understand AI, or at least this, what is coming there. So for today, we prepared a small agenda which shows a little bit about the issue which we have currently in the skill management. We want to look, and that's the technical part, how this current situation, the current changes help us, which technology we need to be prepared for the future, or at least to find a change in our daily working. We will have then a look how a solution could look like for one challenge. This challenge could be adapted for any challenge which you have there, and I'm happy to hear your daily challenges where you think AI can help you, and we can have a look in this solution, which you can see in part four could solve or could at least help you to solve the issues which you have. If there are any questions, just put them in the chat. We have good support here. My colleagues will have a look for it, and if it's interesting, we will directly react. If not, we will have a break, and afterwards we can still discuss deeper things. First question, when we're looking at the skill management, why do we have to skill management to rethink? Why we have to, is not everything wonderful, and if everything works. So the question is, what is the change which forces us to rethink about skill management? And there, the first part is, of course, the AI automation, which comes now up. So we have the possibility now with AI to answer questions which we couldn't answer before. We have, of course, an automation part, which gives us again possibility that things which we are doing daily, which are repetitive, we are doing things which are most, I would say, which are boring for most of us people, because you have to put lists there, take out lists there, take a report out, create the report, and put this report on another system and let this run. This can be all automated, and AI helps us just to bring more automation in. Automation is always a driver, but AI and automation is a much better driver. Second, we have to come out that skill half-life is shrinking. So it's really that when you have a skill today, into latest 3 years, you have to change your skill, to update your skill, to bring new things there in, to perhaps it's coming in now because time is going, or time changes are going faster and faster. So skills which before were lasting for years, or let's say 10 years, will now be 5 years or 4 years. And time is changing because we are coming also, we're getting more computerized. We're doing more things in the computer. We are not doing it outside anymore. We find more solution. And when every time something is getting more to IT, more to workflow driven, which can be automated, the changes are getting also faster. And with changes of skills, we, of course, with a new technology, which stands there, they're coming up also new roles. They are more sharp than they were before. So their field is getting, or let's say smaller fields are getting bigger. Therefore, you need new roles, and you have to repeatedly react on this. This means that your skills in your job roles, which you have now, they might change directly. And this is getting a dynamic which forces you to react fast, and which again you have to rethink. You can't put now a skill management and a skill structure there as a job role structure, which you will keep for the next 10 years. And you say, we did this in the last years, always like this, we will always do this. This forces you that you have to think, okay, we need to change the roles. You will also keep roles. It's not that everything changed, but there are parts, mostly nearly IT or near to IT, and everything which is IT driven will change very fast. So you will have new roles and you have to bring them in. So you have to issue that you have to speed up also your process to bring new roles, new people into the company, or to use people which are in the company, which are your employees, which you bring in new roles. So everybody and everything is getting more flexible than we were before. Last point, market shift happens in weeks. We see this. So there's coming new market ups, they're coming down. You have to jump there in. So you must be more flexible in the future. This all is about more flexibility, which pushes you to bring or to react faster. And this is solvable by automation. And automation is getting better when you can use AI in it. that's the change which we currently see and have. And when you look today, what you have, and this is partly this what's coming there already up, you have already a skill framework, but it's static. You prepared this and you thought you're doing this once when you did this, or if you did this. So then you think that stays like this, but it's not like this. Second, the LMS is a content or used as a content repository. So you just put the content in and you're choosing then the content out. So nothing is transferred, nothing is changed to the new role. And it's also a fixed repository where you can just take your courses out as your ones. And of course, you have a weak business alignment for this all. So it's not that your business comes the whole time and says, we want this, we need this, and this. The alignment is weak. And at last, there's mostly no scaling options in your L&D structure. So you put everything there, mostly static. You have your repository there, and with this, you're running the whole time. But the shift or the time or this, what stands there in front of us, means be more dynamically, be open to changes, have the technology and the possibility to change it. Don't think in static things frameworks. Always think of how you have an easy starting point. When you have the starting point, how you're updating and maintaining those things. And this gives a new driver, but also a new requirement to all your LMS, how you're updating and driving changes into your LMS, into your workflows. And this is why skill management, which was before really, really static, needs to be changed. And it is not something what L&Ds never wanted. So most of these L&Ds to whom we are talking, they're telling us that it's clear what they want. They just don't have the time or the possibility to do this. So in a short term or short overview, you want your investments in the talents and development offers to be secured. So you want to have them back. So you don't want that you have to invest so much in the talents that they are leaving and you lose your investments again. You want to see that they are secured, that they're clear, that you can bring these people to this level where you need them. You want or need a dynamic skill ecosystem. I said already before, static is the standard currently, and you want to have it dynamic, but there was not a possibility to have it dynamic. I mean, there was only a push to the L&D teams that they need to have a skill system, and everybody was asking, so how we can get a skill system? But when it was there, you had to do a lot of manual things. You don't see in your skill management what are the future roles. You have to look into care and to look outside what are the future roles and then to bring it in a static system again. You don't see critical developments. So you don't see when you don't have enough people for the future in this skill set or with this skill set. You're not getting informed. It's currently mostly a field of having a deployment there, putting there the objects there and administrate the objects, but nothing more, nothing which L&D helps. And L&D knows what skills they want to have in the future. They want to work strategic. They want to look and care for things they're having and planning the future. But they have most of the times more to do with putting things in a list, in a report, and administrating the current status than thinking about the future. You, of course, want to have a sustainable learning framework which helps you for growing, being dynamic, adapt the process which you have and not the process, bring the process with you. So you want to change processes in your L&D, and we have really a lot of experience of changing software, but we also see that it's not only changing software, it's something that L&Ds often wants to work a little bit with tailoring of processes, but also their taking a bigger part of the process, making a loop here, or changing and completely tailing the process there. So at the end, what L&D needs or wants currently, if you're talking to them, is that they want to have more time, more resources on these things, what really brings them an impact to their company. And if you see this, then you're looking to the skill management, you see that a lot of resources are, I wouldn't say lost, but needed to run a current skill framework. And less resources are there for really doing all this dynamic stuff, this future stuff, this sustainability, this future-driven looking for skill sets, roles, what's coming there next. And this, of course, has an impact to your current situation. Um, we have a customer, they need about 60, so the customer is about 10,000 people. They have 250 job roles and they need about 60 person employees to run and dynamically skill management so that they really check every time when there are changes in the job role, when there are new skills needed. It's not 60 people full time. Think about one day per week what they need to do to 60 people, but they have to run steady. They need a lot of people because they have a big set of different job roles. Some job roles are in the hotel, some in manufacturing. So there are different people there. So you can't reuse them. Therefore, they have a lot of people there. But that's too much effort for having this. I mean, they need this because they need to have a really flexible model in their case. But they're also doing a lot of resources and this in a time where automation is actually the key. And this will help them, or they are also forcing us to find solutions there for this. And that's the more part. They just want to have more resources for really doing L&D and not they're putting just the lists there and putting information in. So nobody wants to do this all manually. I talked a lot about what L&D wants. I hope this fits also to your concern. It's most of the time when you're looking at the LMS, you're doing a lot of manual things, and there is coming a new technology. And this technology, let's have 5 minutes or latest 10, longest 10 for what technology we have there. So what could help you? And we're starting with a quite easy thing so that everybody can follow. Large language model. I would say after ChatGPT is now about getting 2 years old, you should all know what a large language model is. Of course, it works, and that's an important thing. It works with a prediction. So it uses probabilities to find the next word in a sentence. That sounds strange, but an example, the cat sits on we're stopping the sentence here, and you have this in the LMS, in the LLM, and the LLM looks in the table of probabilities and says, okay, with 52% it's roof, with 24 it's table, and with 15 it's floor. Then it makes a list of this and it decides, you can ask yourself, of course, for the roof, because in 50%. But it means when you're asking this model 10 times, it might be that 3 times you're getting table or floor. And this is something which is important to know. So somehow we want to use AI, and this is all based on these large language models, but they might not always give the same answer. I just was there at the lunchtime and met a colleague, and we discussed about AI. And what I'm currently for my home, I'm searching these robots which are cutting the grass. You will know them. And I'm chatting now since 2 weeks with my AI, which is the best one. And the funny thing is, after giving now all the things which I need, which I think my budget and the size of the garden, I found there let's say, three models which are fitting to this what I want. And I can tell you every day when I'm always using the same context. So the AI, the large language model, has the information of the next context. And I'm getting a different answer. So since 2 weeks, I don't know which robot I should buy. Perhaps you can help me. There's also a question in the chat for this, that. So, but it's honestly, you're getting a different answer. And this shows where this technology is. It's very, very good in finding now a solution or suggesting a solution. But it might be that it has a different opinion when you're asking again. And this you should always keep in mind if you're using this AI. Additionally to this, we should have a look for AI agents. When you have now a large language model and you need this robot for the garden, then you would like to have an agent if you're going to have some tools. So for example, so please buy this robot, or choose the best one, buy the robot, and please program it. This is an execution or a task for an agent. These agents are nothing else than large language models with the possibility of using some tools. And they're thinking not only what to do, they're also doing. Yeah? And we are calling them agent, which is currently this best thing of what you can have in AI. So agents which are running alone. Agent system is, I would say, the highest value. You have different agents, they can talk with each other and they are finding solutions and they're doing with all the positive and negative things which we had before. So be aware of this. Example, travel booking agent, you want to travel there next week to London. You're giving a tool to it. You're saying, okay, you are an agent, please model, react nice and help me. And you're giving this Raybook system, perhaps your account, perhaps you're also getting your credit card so that the agent can sell. And I guess everybody feels not so well to give the credit card to somebody else, even not to an agent. And that's exactly where you should pay attention. Remember, sometimes the cat sits on the roof, sometimes not. As long on the roof, you are happy. When not on the roof, we are perhaps not happy. So this agent gets an input. You want from London, driving from London to Manchester, and they search a train and they're asking, should I book this? Or in the best case, they're asking. In the worst case, they booked already and you're just getting information on them. Just an example of an agent. Might be helpful, might be not helpful. You can see this about yourself. If you're thinking about having this AI and agents, we are just differentiating, and that's important for you to remember when you're later looking for what LMS you would like to have, what you're looking or caring for, how you're going on with AI. It's not only an LMS question. We're differentiating three, actually, AIs types. We have a chatbot, which is a little bit like ChatGPT, but not the same. These chatbots, we know them from the earlier time. You're sometimes meeting them. I'm meeting them sometimes on the website. I'm always trying to chat with them. That's quite funny because you can find easily out if the chatbot is a chatbot, give him just things to translate. If they translate in any language, then mostly it's not a chatbot because there's an AI or a large language model behind because they're very good in translation. If the chatbot always tries to push you on one theme or it follows always fixed rules. So you're saying, could you please translate this? And the chatbot is saying, I can show you our website where you can book a course. Then it's mostly a chatbot and not anything else. The much better choice is an assistant. It's based on a large language model, but it can't execute. So you can tell currently ChatGPT, please plan my trip to Paris. I would stay there 2 days, use a nice hotel, and tell me what I should do in the evening. Then it really nicely can help you to plan this trip, find their hotel, and recommends their hotels based on recommendation or on any platforms, and it plans for you the trip, but it will not book this. This is the only part of the agentic AI. So agentic AI, in this case, we are agent-based. The agent wants to have, before starting, of course, your credit card. Without it can't do this, and it books then the Paris trip for you. When you see now and look at this kind of possibilities which are available for you, you can see that on the black ones, L&D still has to do and spend the times. So that's not a solution for them. Um, you can see that agentic AI is the only way how in the future you will save the time and get really the resources on this, what you have to do, because you want to automate and bring things in. And that makes this agentic AI or agents so important and why everybody runs on it and wants to have this. So that's the future, and that's what we need for solving our issues and solving our current situations. On top of the agent, you can imagine that we could put agents in a workflow. So when you're looking at automations, you mostly, or let's say, in most of the cases, you don't have a one-step automation. So you're not giving a paper in and you're getting directly a nice PowerPoint out. Mostly you have different things. You're saying you have a research phase where you're looking and finding out what you should have in your PowerPoint slides. Then you're making a story for your PowerPoint slides about this. Then you're creating the PowerPoint slides. And then you're making pictures in your PowerPoint slide because they're looking much, much better. This is a workflow. It's not something where you're just putting one thing in and getting directly out. It might be that when you have a very good workflow, that you're putting your paper in, and then the workflow runs the step with researching, with putting everything together, with generating your PowerPoint, and then putting pictures in. There are these 5 steps for you as an outside. You're just following this workflow. But at the end, you have a workflow. And this is much more than just having one agent. On this stage or in this level, it's allowed to ask the question if everything or all the workflows can be in agents. So when to use a real workflow, so with 4 agents, and when to use one agent, which is so big that you can put there the 4 steps of the workflow in. Both is possible. Most of the cases, you always have a context window, which is the memory of an agent or of the large language model. And if this is getting too big, then you have to separate this in the workflow engine. And it's both allowed. In most of the cases, it makes more sense when you want to reuse an agent in other workflows or in other typicals that you're doing one agent for this step. How this could look like in an example. We want to do a quiz for some people from London, so about the city in London. And you're thinking of having research for this, and this quiz should have different levels of questions. So these should be difficult, less difficult, quite easy. And you want to generate these questions for future presentations. So it might be that we are having this slide or this questions, this presentation next week in Los Angeles. They wouldn't be happy that I'm doing this example with London. Or when I'm coming to smaller cities in Germany, they would also not be happy to have this from London. Also, I have to say London works everywhere. Then this would be a workflow who could help to use this and do this. So let's start at the upper part on the left side. And there we're starting with the first agent. We're calling it research agent. And this research agent goes and gathers any information of the cities. In this case, it would be London, it could be Los Angeles, it could be New York, it could be Munich, whatever it is. We're just putting the city in and say, hi, go and search some information. Of course, this agent has a connection to the internet and can connect it, but as you're giving to agents also tools, it could be also gather information from your website or from your internal website or from your home drive somewhere. So you can put there just a drive and give the information to the agent, and it imports the data from there. So it could be looking for a city, looking for anything, any information which you're providing to get their game or quizzle there later. Then we have a writing agent, which creates now a quiz out of this or makes the quiz specification. So how does a quiz looks like? How many answers we need? How many questions we have together? So how the questions looks like, and so on. So this is what this agent does. So surrounding of a definition of a quiz. So you might have 6 answers per question. You might have multiple choice. Perhaps you want to have free text, drop down, whatever it is. All this comes in the quiz specification. So this writer agent is already independent from the research agent because it just gets information and creates out of this quiz specification. Might be also running for other quizzes. Then we have a coding agent, could be a programmer, could be actually Claude code, whatever. It starts to build the quiz, gets the specification, and says, okay, I'm running there and doing this quiz and having their possibility. We did here, in this case, a review agent who looks at this all and looks at the quality of the quiz. Does it work? Do we have any things which are not working? You could imagine we can do much more in this agent. The longer we're thinking about this possibility, you can see there this agent could do much more. Check if these information or the answers of the questions are correct from where they are, can store. But somewhere in this agent approves this quiz, and this quiz is then going to the assessment agent, which runs the quiz and provides the quiz to the users via website, via app, whatever we prepared before. This is a agentic workflow, so an agent-based workflow. It's fully automated because it works agent per agent. When you are from pharma companies, they often on this stage say it shouldn't be too much automated because we want to have human in the loop. This would mean that on every step at the end, you would get a presentation of the result and you would say, yes, that's the right way, give it to the next step. To be compliant, so everything was there, that there is no automated decision taking by any AI, which should be avoided for some compliance parts. But it should show you that it's quite easily with a city selection, create a quiz of this agentic workflow. And with these technologies, and I'm closing the technology part so everybody can get awake who didn't want to follow the technology part. With this part, you can now do a good, nice challenge in the L&D. And so let's have a look to the L&D part. When we have this technology, and I'm summarizing this again, we have large language model which understands very good languages. They have a probability table, so to take decisions or to predict the next word, which could be also in a fitting sentence there for your L&D part. We have agents who can analyze stuff, who can create lists, who can create their text for you, but who also understand what text we're searching for. You can do researches in the internet. We can do researches automatically internet, download it and bring it in the workflow. And these are the possibilities which are new now to us. Of course, you can tell me, yes, but before we could also do this. So we could have a program which is already there and it's just getting configured. And that's correct. But this was always fixed to this situation. It was not flexible and it costed a lot of money to create this. And AI is costing less money than to create one single thing if you're using it in several of these challenges. So let's have a look how we could use this in a challenge. And we created a challenge for us on the beginning already of the year, where this workflow agents were not so fixed available. And let's have a look for this, what we want to do. So we are thinking about a challenge for us. We don't have much capacity. And we have a new employee joins. I guess everybody from you has this in HR. It might be also joining a team. It might be also that there is coming somebody new to a team. So you have a changer within your company. It might be that you have completely new stuff. It might be that you have just people who are already in your company, and then you're just tailoring this workflow. The challenge is for every organization, and that's a typical L&D challenge, which skills this employee brings. It could be also that you don't have skills management in your company. You want to start with this, and you want to have your employee currently knows the skills. So when a new employee starts, you're getting a CV. We get the only information is the CV, and with which we are starting, and we are asking ourselves, where are the gaps? Second, if we have our skill rules of this new employee, we have to think about how in the future we are getting a fast changing learning path for the new market, which fits also to this employee. So we have a static competency model currently, but we need to keep this on. So we need to change this and being forced to do the market on. The third question, what we have in this challenge is how we do the personalized onboarding. So we don't know, we don't want that every employee who comes runs strictly to the same onboarding. We want to look what competency or what skills these new employee has, and we want to adapt this. Might be also in the case you have a change in your team. I know in earlier times you changed the team, you still had to do a lot of same trainings again and again because the company want to be compliant, and as you change the team, you're coming in a new role and you're getting automatically booked for the same courses again. This we want to avoid. And last one is how we can map the skills to the roles dynamically. So it means we have roles and the skills are getting updated, and the market asks for new skills, and you want to add this, and you want to see then who's there looking or caring, or who is there, who is missing a skill for this new role or the same role but updated from the market perspective. This is what we want to have. We built the app a framework for this, which is a dynamic solution. Looks like this. It's a screenshot from this prototype to it. We have a new skill management center in the system, and it has the following actions or possibility. You have human in the loop, a possibility to import and manage skills. So it automatically goes to a market AI and looks and lets you import new skill management and stuff for this. It creates for you new job roles. So if there are new job roles on the market, you can import them. You are always human in the loop. You decide if you want to import them, you can create a new job roles, and you can automatically create a job role, describe it, and the system suggests which skills should be there, which can be mapped to your system. You can extract and import skills from documents. This is a new based model which helps you when you're putting there any CV, that it creates out of the CV a suggestion for skills which are described there. You can assign these skills then to staff members, and you can assign skills to learning content, and you can explore the analytics and see skill gaps in the system. That's what the center does there. AI-based helps you to do this solution for this. The more interesting thing is not how this all works and looks like. The more interesting is this when we're coming back to agentic workflow. It's therefore interested because everybody of you will have a different workflow when new team members come. Everybody will have perhaps there a skill analysis by somebody to do before assigning the skills. Somebody wants to have an overview of the skills. But this is all possible when we're looking at workflow-based skill management and agentic workflows. We have a profile creation. That's what we always do. So it doesn't matter how you're doing your skill management. You will always create for the employee a skill matching, a skill profile, a skill set based on anything. This could be you have a job profile agent and you're importing your CV, and this agent generates and checks if the jobs are fitting to your CV or doing a gap. We have a profile agent who looks what of these parts are getting designed to your or to the employee's profile, that the employee has an account, but also a skill profile in the system. And we have a skill agent which maps all these skills to external and internal to checks if there are new skills, and to checks also this typo issues. There are often skills or different skills. They mean often the same, but they just have perhaps a typo they're in, but perhaps they are just also named different. And this skill agent can handle this, can look the external one and can suggest which skills should fit together. And as human in the loop, you will always ask how this matches. In the workflow, because I don't want to go to the whole solution for you, we have, of course, a semantic content mapping. So we automatically look for the content which fits. And we are generating now on the skill map, which is done originally from the CSV file, a learning path which fits to this skill which are still mapping or missing. So we have a job there. We're saying this employee goes to this job, and we check which courses, which content are still to do, and we book automatically the people on this path. At the end, we have, of course, a content gap and resolution, and you have all the employees on the same level when they're starting, whether in your team or also in your company. But it is, of course, a continuity management. It helps you to continuously do this gap analysis, update your skills, because it's not anymore a static work where you're doing once job role skill matching, asking everybody what they know, what they can do, map this, sign this, put it there, and say, that's it. It pushes you that you bring your organization to a new level of skill management. It's dynamically, it helps you to look for the market for the next year's level, which you need. It closes the gaps which you have there and shows you the whole time where you're standing, what is your future, and where is your gap. And it's good to see the gaps, because the gaps coming in because you put already the future requirements in, not the gaps are coming there because you just put a new skill there in your static one and you don't know how to match this. So this is the part of a future skill management, which comes more dynamically, which looks for the market and helps you really to concentrate on this, what it is, because you will see that when you have new skills there, that you might also look for new content which you can create. And this could be another example. We just didn't put it there. Of course, agents can also create content for you. Not so nice as a nice company can do this, but helping you just to close some smaller gaps. And we're just talking here about being fast, adapt very fast what comes there on your organization. Concentrate on the major parts which you have. And then it's allowed to have first a generate easy content to get this gap and see then how you can make this more interested for the real time. So the outcome. So let's have a look of what we saw and what we discussed and what we wanted to have. first, with these new technologies, you're gaining speed. You're very, very fast in executing. You see that you need a skilled strategy and you can follow it. It goes automatically. You can concentrate on this, what you have. The possibility that agents or workflows are running, several times, they're running 24 hours, they look and they care for it, gives you the possibility to scale with less effort. So this is really a change for you, which helps you really to concentrate on this, what you should do, but also gives you the possibility to do this all the time and not only just when you are in the office and everybody clicks and puts the CVs there in and download or update it. Of course, you could also integrate other things. And the result is, of course, that it has an impact for your skill. You're driving your organization to a future where skills really matters and where you can concentrate on future roles. Because when you're looking now what comes, it's quite clear that AI comes, you will need people for AI and for prompting when you're using AI, but you need from other roles or other skills perhaps less because AI will do this for you. But this means not that you can change or make a shift of change of employees the whole time. It's much, much easier to go step by step and transfer your organization to this organization which you need in the future. And this, of course, you can do dynamically step by step and not only on one big thing or saying, oh, we don't have the skill set, because that's what happened when you have the static skill set. You will change the skill set once a year or every second year and say, oh, now we see that we have a big, big gap. When you're changing it dynamically, always to the market. And of course, you have to pay attention which skills you will take there in your system. But when you're doing it step by step, you can also transfer your organization to the new level. We're coming a little bit to the end because when you understood what is the change which coming to you, you understood what is the technology you're coming, and how this technology can help you. You were perhaps on the level saying, okay, we understood this, what we have to do, what we have to get for this. We changed before 2 years already that we're not talking a little bit about an LMS only. So we're talking about a learning ecosystem, which you have. That might be hopefully a lot of products from IMC in it, but it doesn't need to. It could be also used any other products. And we are really open. We see what other ones are doing. There are also people who are doing a good job there. So you don't need to take always from IMC. But what comes together is at the end, you always have a learning ecosystem. You're in some things stronger and you're in some things using less. Perhaps you don't need them. Perhaps you don't have budget for this, but also perhaps you just don't require this because you're living good with yourself. So when you're looking at the ecosystem, you always have something like a learning management on the side. Of course, at IMC has one. I'm happy if you need one, you can come to us. But you need a learning management system. Somebody needs to look for your skills. Somebody needs to look for the courses, for the content to bring this together and say that's a background of you. You can get this from us headless, also from other ones, but you're getting it also with the front end. You need to have somehow content in it, which is not coming with the LMS. You need to buy this separately. So you might also come again to the IMC, but you might also generate this with any other tool. You're generating content with a tool like IMC Express in this case, but you might also come to a company and say, please craft for me any or create really any content specialized on this with a lot of design in. You might want to have a special learning experience for one big theme. You want to make an AI story of it. This is all what's not coming out of the box anymore. It's something where you need support consultancy or special agencies. On the right side, just one part of our, there will be also AI-based trainings, like in our case, the dialogue GPT. So you can talk to a large language model and it can help you to generate their communication. This is part of content. So we have LMS and we have content. And there's a new point in this, and that's important because that's part of this what we talked today. You need to bring there in a workflow engine with agentic AI because this is the main part where you can automate it, where you will in the future use this automation to be faster than other ones, to go to the market and see what's coming there out and helps you really to concentrate on this, what you do. All the other parts, they are there and they are working. That's what you used in the last years. But really thriving, you're getting when you have an agentic workflow engine in where you can give the whole power, you can change the processes in the systems, and you can adapt everything for your part and your scenario. Short and last slide for us from our side. The ones who adapt succeed. So there is an adaptation what you have to do. We have some information here, what we did before, and that we are not talking about smaller scenarios. Our scenarios are mostly bigger ones. So please, I'm happy to answer all your questions and hope you got at least some information which you can use in the future.
Thank,
Amanda.
thank you, Roman. That was really interesting, really detailed, and hopefully, it certainly always makes me think when I hear that presentation and think about workflows. And certainly on the marketing side, it's something we're very deep into at the moment, always trying to get faster, do more. And it's really interesting to see how you build it up in L&D. We don't have any questions currently in the chat. Would anyone like to ask anything while we have Roman still on the line with us, with all his experience? If anyone is already looking into agentic workflows, have some in place, or can see that they might help you in the future, we would love you to drop that in the chat. But otherwise, we can wrap up and spare you all 5 minutes. Roman, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just see there in the chat was a question if the idea is to purchase agentic AI packages or
Yes, there was, yes.
this. Um, I can say yes, we are also thinking how we can bring templates to it. I mean, that's not part of our webinar today, as we didn't want to do too much marketing and advertisement here. But people who follows us will know that in the future we will bring something like an agent builder and templates out where you can just add these agents to your or to our platform. Of course, we wouldn't bring them out to any other platform. So it's agent which you are able to create, to add it, to change. So we will be very transparent in this. You can buy or get a set of agents which you can use as they are, but in the future you would be also to add there or to change their MCP control, which would mean that we think of scenarios that in the future you're using these starting agent or agent templates from RMC and add your information and connect your internal systems to them as you as a customer want to do this. This makes this skill management scenario even more comfortable for you because you're not relying on IMC's platform. You are allowed to connect to these agents which are getting from us, connecting to any other platform. and the platform should support MCP server. I'm happy if they're interested to this, how agent AIs in the future will help you in general and how we are thinking and showing um, also this year how you can use this and how you connect to this. I'm happy to do the any webinar if is an information needed there.
Yes, that would be great because obviously this technology, these concepts are moving very quickly, and we're also moving very quickly on them. So, yep, I do stay in touch with us, everybody on the line or watching this recording, so we can keep you up to date. And we hope, Roman, to have you back in the future to see where things are moving and where everything's at. As it's moving so fast, that might be sooner rather than later. So thank you very much. Do drop us a line if you have any other questions that you think of once you've digested that webinar information. Thank you all for joining us. As I mentioned, the recording will be with you in a few days, and wishing you all a great rest of the day. Thanks very much, Roman.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye bye.